Greetings, Eric Bakker, naturopath from New Zealand. Thanks for checking out this video. We're going to today talk about systemic Candida or invasive Candida. Many people that consult me believe they've actually got systemic Candida. I've got Candida throughout my body. It's everywhere. It's in my blood. It's in my brain. It's in my joints. It's in my fingers. It's in my penis. It's in my vagina. It's everywhere. I'm loaded with Candida. What am I going to do? Help me. Well, you haven't got systemic Candida, okay? Please don't get the words systemic or invasive Candida confused with a yeast infection. There's a huge difference, okay? Candida, as we've mentioned many times before, can live quite normally in the gut, in the digestive system, or on the skin, and it does with many people, okay? It cohabits with many different types of bacteria. So, and as we mentioned in previous videos, if the scales are tipped, if there's a big imbalance for one of many reasons, you can get a yeast infection. However, an invasive or systemic yeast infection is not that easy to get. Even though it accounts probably for about 40 to 50,000 people getting admitted to hospital each year in the US alone, it's a serious blood-borne infection and one of the leading blood-borne infections in many Western countries, and it's generally found in seriously immunocompromised people. Chances are, if you're looking at this video right now on your laptop, you haven't got systemic Candida, okay, because you wouldn't be looking at this computer, you'd probably be in a hospital bed. So this is a serious infection that often requires lengthy hospital stays, very expensive long-term treatment, and often very poor patient outcomes. The type of people that are more prone to getting systemic yeast infection are HIV/AIDS people. So do you have AIDS, HIV? Probably not. You may have, and if you do have, you are at a high risk of getting a systemic infection. A person with quite bad diabetes may get it. A person who has an organ transplant, or a patient with cancer on very powerful chemotherapy drugs or immunosuppressive drugs. A person who's had major abdominal surgery. A person who's had a central line put in their chest or neck, one of these central catheters to take drugs. So these are people that are at a high risk for systemic Candida, or we call it candidemia. So it is a big problem, but chances are that you won't be having this problem. I really don't think you have got it. Chances are that you'll have it in the gut or on the skin. And if you've got it in the gut, and because the gut interfaces, of course, with the body, you can feel pretty crappy all throughout the body. But it doesn't mean to say you've got a blood-borne yeast infection. So the major signs and symptoms of that are a serious fever and being very sick to the point where you need hospitalization. Okay, and then it will be picked up in the bloodstream. And this is why doctors laugh at a lot of people who say, "You haven't got Candida? That's crazy. Only AIDS people will get Candida." So doctors are confused as well, because they believe that it's not possible for a person to suffer the consequences of a gut-borne yeast infection systemically. So now you can see patients get confused. They think they've got a systemic yeast infection. Doctors get confused because they only know of a systemic yeast infection and don't believe that people in the gut can get it and feel it systemically. Are you confused? Well, I'm not, because I've been doing this now for nearly 30 years and I see lots of cases like this. So please try and understand, chances are you having a systemic yeast infection are next to nil. Thanks for tuning in.